Well, good evening, one and all, and welcome to the Super League Raw news update on Monday, the 26th of February. Lots to get through this evening. We hope you've had a great day in work. Sit back, relax, and enjoy all the fine news that's coming to you from around Super League for the next 20 minutes to half hour or so. Right, some news right off the bat this evening. Ben Garcia has extended his stay at the Catalan Dragons. He's going to stay there until 2026. I, for one, am delighted to hear this news. I think Ben Garcia is one of the best players in our competition, bar none, especially one of the best loose forwards without question. Quality player remaining in Super League, and he will be gracing fields throughout Super League for another couple of seasons, which is fantastic news. Other news as well. Last week we heard that Ben Reynolds, well, he signed for Hull KR from Featherstone Rovers on a 2-year contract. That pretty much now for me cements that Jordan Abdul will be remaining in Perpignan beyond this season. What do Hull KR fans make of that? Get in the chat, let us know. And also Brad Dwyer is off to the Lee Leopards to plug the gap left by Edwin Ipape. Last night on the Final Whistle podcast, Steph Sale, our resident Lee Leopards fan, of course, alongside Dawn Baker, Greg Roach and Greg Nixon. It's a great listen. If you've not listened to it, make sure you download the Final Whistle podcast on Amazon, Apple or Spotify a little bit later. But Steph was saying that it's at least 6 weeks to 2 months for Edwin Ipape at best. So Brad Dwyer, he's going over to the Lee Leopards on an initial 2-week loan, but don't be surprised if that is extended a little bit longer, maybe for the season. Who knows? I do think Warrington may have a callback option in there. But like I say, Brad Dwyer, he's off to the Lee Leopards and may play against the Saints this week. Now, the Rugby Football League match review panel, they've been convening today, and there have been bans given out, but not to New Brown. Common sense has prevailed there. More on that in a few moments' time. But bans were given to Sam Lizone, a 3-match ban for Lizone of the Leeds Rhinos, and James Donaldson has picked up a 2-game ban for that shot that he put on during the game. Very similar to Cade Ellis. Remember Cade Ellis last week? It wasn't even looked at by the match review panel. But no, Donaldson, 2-match ban. Will they appeal that, the Leeds Rhinos? We'll have to wait and see. Also, a 2-match ban for Liam Sutcliffe of Hull FC for touching an official. I think there's a few social media posts going around on that one. Quite innocuous, I'm led to believe. We'll probably be discussing that on Super League Raw Weekly tomorrow night, live, 8 p.m, Twitter, Facebook and YouTube, as always. Now, I mentioned that New Brown, no further sanction. The Rugby Football League have put out a statement on their social media platforms, and I'm going to read it to you in full. Following Monday's meeting of the match review panel, the Rugby Football League acknowledges that the implementation of the new head contact sentencing framework caused controversy and confusion during round 2 of the Betfred Super League. This was obvious in Friday's match at Warrington Wolves with the dismissal of Hull FC's New Brown late in the first half. On studying the incident, the match review panel decided it did not merit a charge under the framework. This has highlighted a lack of clarity in the procedures regarding head-on-head contact, which left the officials at Friday's game in an invidious position. The section of the framework relating to head-on-head contact will now be amended, emphasising that it applies only to initial contact. Now, for me, that's a little bit of a grey area because you can still have an accidental head clash as an initial contact. I think this one might rumble on, folks. Once the mechanics of the tackle become more fluid, officials are able to use their knowledge and game understanding to mitigate the sanction to reflect the level of culpability of the tackler. This point will be reinforced to Betfred Super League coaches at a pre-arranged meeting on Wednesday and to playing representatives of the 12 Super League clubs at a separate meeting that day, maybe that Ryan Briley Zoom one that we keep seeing on social media. That one is bound to rumble on. But what we're not going to do here on this news update is look to the negatives. This weekend in round 2, we saw some fantastic rugby league in all the games, including the World Club Championship. And guys, here's the tries of the week. Enjoy them. And that, folks, is why it's the greatest game on earth without question. What some brilliant tries. Which was the better one, Hanley's or Benison's? Ooh, there's a debate that will be coming on our Facebook pages a little bit later on this evening for you to have a right good chinwag around. Anyway, here we go. Round 2 results. Hull KR 22. The Leeds Rhinos 12. KR go 2 from 2. The Broncos 0. The Catalan Dragons 34. 2 very solid performances, these from the Dragons. Wolves 36. Hull FC 10. Sam Burgess off and running with the Warrington Wolves. The Giants 0, Saints 28. They were irresistible in the second half, weren't they, at the John Smith Stadium. The World Club champions are the Wigan Warriors, 16-12 winners over the Panthers in a game that was befitting of such a contest. And finally, yesterday, the curtain came down at the Salford Community Stadium. Salford 26, the Castleford Tigers 22. Some brilliant action for everybody to have enjoyed over the weekend there. Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to go round to the grounds. We're going to look at all the fallout from those games. We're going to start at Hull KR against the Leeds Rhinos, where we'll hear from both coaches and a certain someone who was picked at the last minute and had a fine game at fullback for the Leeds Rhinos. Here we go.
Obviously a very sad day for the club, and we send our condolences to Rob's family. I didn't know Rob all that well, but I definitely know the contribution he made to the club over many years, and I also know from speaking to many people he's a wonderful man. I got a lot of messages today around the type of person that he was, and one thing I love about this club is the people that we have, and I send my condolences and our condolences on the club to his family, and obviously Neil, and to Neil as well, because Neil Hudgell, who was very close with him. But hopefully tonight we can put a little bit of a smile on his family's face in a sad time.
Oh, now here's the kick across field. This is great play from the Rhinos, and they are racing away now with Hanley. He's got support, he might not need it. Shows the step and goes. What a wonderful try from the Leeds Rhinos, penned in their own end.
About an hour before the game, but I suppose that's why you're 18th man. You've got to be ready to play, and you never know what can happen. So I found out about an hour before, and I was buzzing. But yeah, you obviously don't expect it when you come to the game. I remember messaging Rich last night, just asking, should I tell my mum and dad to come or not? He went, oh yeah, tell them to come. So it's a good job he did. Yeah, I loved it. I was blowing a bit in the first half and feel like I settled in. Obviously, you're going to drop balls to full-back, so kind of just move on with it. But yeah, we had a good go tonight.
It's round 2. We're playing against a quality team on their patch. On a pitch that gave way with every footstep, and we got beaten by a couple of deflections today. I don't think we've been beaten by lack of effort. We've been pretty on par there. I think Hull KR, tough, hard-working team. Like, they're amongst the best in the comp at that grinding footy, and that was a grinding day for it in those conditions. They executed a couple of plays really nicely, and that was the difference. But we played some decent footy at times today, I thought.
Take about that young man. I thought he had a brilliant game, considering he's thrown in at the last minute. Really composed, very big future ahead of him. Jez Litton on the night, sensational performance. Jai Whitbread as well. Really good start to the season for Hull KR. Now let's go to the Halliwell Jones Stadium, and a lot of people were disappointed with what happened during the game at Warrington on Friday night. Let's hear from some of the key people in the game and their views on what happened.
It was great, wasn't he? He controlled the game, he kicked well, and he stayed calm. I thought Max Wood was great on debut. I had a young side out there on the right edge, all Warrington grown players, Thewlis, Wrench, Hayes, and Holroyd starting on the right edge. It's great for the town. So there's some really positive things in there. So I was really pleased with a lot of areas, considering the circumstances of the game.
Yeah, it's just an accidental clash of heads there.
Sports going dangerous. There's no mitigation. You're off.
Well,
Thought we were riding that game, and until some big decisions were made. Been around for a while, and you think you've seen it all until you haven't, and that's what's happening at the moment. There's some really strange things happening, and it's hard for the players to understand and cope with at the moment as well. We're playing on pretty wet pitches, and it's hard for them to get their footing right, their timing right, and we're making some pretty big decisions that are having effects on outcomes of games, no doubt.
Stadium here are irate when they saw that decision made. We've got the Warrington fans behind us here. We've got Warrington ground staff behind us here. Stewards, all puzzled watching on the big screen as to what they've just seen. The existential threat to the game lies in officiating like that and decisions to take the game down that route.
It's a shocker. It's an absolutely mind-blowingly bad decision.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. 20 years since the first game here at the Howard Jones Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
We're just interviewing a few players who played on that day.
Oh, right. Penny's dropped.
So, just wondering, have you seen Paul Wood anywhere?
Paul Wood? Why?
Well, he scored twice on that night, you see.
Well, they're the only two tries he scored all his life. They were barge overs. They don't even count. So why can't you mention some of that? I've done 20 odd years I've been here, 138 tries, and you mentioned Paul Wood's poxy 2 tries on here that game. I saved the club. This stadium wouldn't have been here if I had to save this club. Stick that in your documentary, piece of
Fantastic stuff from the Warrington Wolves media team there, the Wire TV. Great stuff, lads. I have to say, did make me chuckle when I saw Super Benny Westwood doing yet another cameo. 20 years the Halliwell Jones Stadium has been up and running. And yeah, Benny Westwood, of course, played that night. Great stuff there. A lot of people disappointed at the outcome of that red card on Friday. Thankfully, if you're just joining us on the news update, no further sanctions for New Brown. He will be available for play this weekend. So that's good news there if you're a Hull FC fan and you're just joining us now. Leon Hayes as well mentioned there in dispatches. I have to say, I thought Jack Walker at Hull FC played really well on the night. He's a quality player, Jack Walker. I think he's been a really good, solid acquisition for Tony Smith's men going into this campaign. He played really, really well. I thought, in fact, there's a lot of spirit shown by Hull FC during the course of that game. I thought Sutcliffe had a fantastic game as well. Ashworth's doing brilliantly well as well in the couple of games that I've seen him. So, like I say, plenty for Hull FC to cling on to there. The troops will be coming back over the next couple of weeks, and great news over at New Brown. Right, down to London, over 5,000 spectators at a London Broncos game. And didn't the atmosphere sound absolutely brilliant on the TV? Great news for the London Broncos. Hopefully more of those people will be back for the next home game in a couple of weeks' time. Both coaches spoke after the game. This is what they had to say.
We knew it could be potentially be a tough night unless we got the start to the game right. So really pleased with that. We managed to keep our try line intact. I think it's really important for the team to do that. So that's a big effort from us. It was very important for us as an expansion team at the Catalan Dragons to win, to start winning and winning consistently well. And then you see the byproduct of what happens on the back of that. Winning really helps that. I don't think I get as excited as I do for away games as coming to London. Like, you know, we're coming to one of the best cities in the world, big place, just being in and around the area, you get that feel for it. We've got to make it happen, we've got to make it work. I know there's all the IMG grading and London are probably on the, you know, probably struggling a little bit in terms of that, but there's just something about it. You know, I love coming here, I love coaching here, I love, you know, whichever ground we've played at in London, I think it's a fantastic experience, and I don't know, we've just got to find some way of, with it, you know, of making a team really successful in London. I hope they do that. They've got a great stadium, they've got a good coach, you know, they're obviously trying to fight their way through this season, but I really hope they're successful, and we wish them all the best.
That was a tough evening for you.
It's been a tough 2 weeks. Yeah. Bested in every area today off a very, very good team.
You couldn't have a much harder start to the season, could you, than Saints and Catalan?
We couldn't, but I think we know it's a great yardstick for us, but we know the level, don't we? That's a very, very high level. They're a very, very good team. Very good team.
Side's efforts today. Do you think you deserved the score at the end?
No.
Would you make
I know last week we should have scored 3 or 4 tries against St Helens, 100%. There's a couple of them last week. I thought, how did we not convert there? Not today, no.
Why is that?
We didn't create any chances, did we? We didn't create any pressure. Same pictures as last week, so we don't get a good start. 3 tries down, and you overchase the game. Our outcomes are really poor. Jordan Abdul's kicking game today was unbelievable. Our back 5 had to fight so hard for the ball. We spoke about a greasy ball under low floodlights, how difficult that would be. And every single ball was an unbelievable competition for our back 5 to get. We were panicking, running last plays because we thought we had to score. And it's a massive focus for us to build games, and we're not doing it. But we will do. We will do.
Can you afford to look at the occasion as a positive? The biggest crowd, depending on whether you want to go back to 2010 or 2013.
Yeah, amazing, brilliant. This season is about this club growing in all areas. Now, the club's made some decisions in terms of where they want to invest certain areas of money to kind of improve our overall standing. And it's about this on the field. It's going to take us time to adjust, isn't it? 100%. And that's the process we're going through. Off the field, that was magic today. 5,500 in and around that figure, was it? I believe was fantastic. And when you start adding into that the away support of some of the bigger supported teams, you're not far off 3/4 of the stadium full. So massive day for the club. It's a collective.
There's the challenge for the rest of the Super League. Let's get that ground 3/4 full. I don't know about you, but there's certain coaches who you could just listen to all day. And Steve McNamara and Mike Eccles are 2 of those. 2 very assured, very composed individuals. I thought McNamara there talking about the Catalan Dragons. He's talking now like somebody who is at the top table, isn't he? Nothing but victories is good enough from the people from France, which is fantastic. I thought Nick Arima was yet again very easy on the eye for Catalan Dragons. And Mike Eccles there, he understands the project that he's got. It's all about building this season for the London Broncos. I think they're going to get many friends across this season, especially the way that Mike Eccles is speaking. I think he'll get a lot of respect from other supporters from around the league. And like I say, they did not give up against Catalan Dragons. They fought right to the end. Right, let's go over to the John Smith Stadium. This was billed as a really big game, and I felt the first half was befitting of that, a really close one. Huddersfield were right in the ground, right up until Sione Matauti's try just before half-time. And then the second half was just all about St. Helens' quality in transition going forward. Some tries, we just saw some there in tries of the week. Incredible tries from St. Helens. And of course, they go 2 wins from 2 games. After the game, the 2 coaches spoke. And we'll also hear from a man who I felt had one of his best games in the St. Helens shirt for many a year, Mr. Morgan Knowles.
There was kind of a lot to like from us and the way we were going about things. Probably the try just before half-time was a little bit of a killer blow with Matauti's. And then the last 5 minutes of the second half as well were obviously a little bit disappointing there because we kind of lost our way. But to be fair, the level of kind of where Saints are and the very, very good team at doing that, kind of penning you down and suffocating you, I think that told at the end of the last few minutes of both halves, to be fair.
In attack, obviously kept scoreless. Have you got any concerns there?
Oh no, well, I know it's early, and I know we've changed obviously our spine again this week with Tui coming in for Jake Connor.
Yeah.
I thought Saints defended really, really well, to be fair. They're good at what they do. They're good at kind of slowing you down and getting a good set line in D, and it's for us to break them down. And we wanted to do a few things, but we couldn't get to them because we kept spilling the ball in the first half. I think our completion rates were at 60-odd%, and then theirs were like pretty high, nearly 80%. And then second half we improved that, but so did they. They got better as well in the second half. So we were playing, like I said, there was lots to like, especially defensively, how we kept turning up and defending some of our goal line D sets that we did back to back. And there was some good stuff in our yardage kind of coming out once we started to get into shape. But it's tough when you're in a game like that, especially early in the season, being able to continue to keep getting in shape or ask a few more questions. We just needed to be a little bit better and a bit more direct at times.
Yeah, I just think it was a very professional performance. Obviously, we had a pretty good win last week against London, but we knew that we had to make improvements, and I thought we made those tonight. There's a lot to like about what we're doing at the moment, but it's still very early days. We know we're going to have to continue to work hard, but this is never an easy place to come and get a result. So to do it in the manner that we did was really pleasing. There's no real one standout performer tonight, and I think that's a great sign. is that that everybody's contributing, but everybody's contributing in their own way. And it's a sign of where the teams are at the moment, is that allowing other people to have opportunities, not feeling that we have to do too much, but certainly having your head in the game and being able to affect the game when it does come your way is important, and I think everybody's doing that really well at the moment. Yeah, well, we've worked hard on our attack throughout the course of pre-season, primarily because we needed to, but also because the game's changing as well, and being able to be a bit of a front foot team, particularly with having Darryl Clark there now, Moses when he's fit, like to get out at 9. Those opportunities present themselves more often than not, and we've worked hard on our attacking game throughout the course of pre-season. But ultimately, we still pride ourselves on the defensive side of the game.
Walker Blake out the back of the hand from him as the Makerson goes down, but he's still managed to keep it in play and keep going. And Wellesby will fling it into the middle.
Just getting back in, and it looked like a tough physical one. Did you feel it?
Yeah. Obviously, it's my lungs are burning there for a bit and getting back into it. But once I got my second win, felt pretty good. Which is pleasing. Obviously done enough in the off season, pre-season. We're not being in with the boys, so happy with my first at help. I want to not get carried away. Like I said, we're 2-2. We'd have took that, but probably at this point in the season, it's about getting the wins and keep improving performances. It's only round 2. We're building but same as everyone else. But I think it's been a really positive start to the season so far. We've got a great squad, right through, and it'll be called upon, throughout the year as inevitably injuries come. Happy. Away games, fans that are coming and the trip over on the 62, and paying money again to come and watch us and support us, and the more that come and the louder that they are, it definitely does give us a massive boost.
Great comments there from Morgan Knowles. He had a great match, didn't he? Great win for the Saints. Absolutely superb. Now we go to the game from yesterday. Paul Rowley was talking, as too was Craig Lingard. Let's see what they had to say.
Collectively, we were pretty good throughout. I thought we had our right edge was a little bit blunt in particular in attack. But again, that can be fixed. We've got a lot of new additions in key positions. And so, yeah, it's. I guess if we don't polish the attack up, then any wins will always be hard fought wins like that and close encounters, which obviously is not good for the ticker. But we got there in the end.
They've run out of tackles. This is the last. Sneed. Up it goes. Being chased hard by MacDonald. Oh, MacDonald! What about that?
Well, we've spoke about challenging kicks more, and I think Nenny's come into this group, and it's something that he's probably, you kind of need a player to value something to make that contagious throughout your group, and Nenny's definitely brought that. But what I'll say is that I think probably when you look at the game, Nenny for me was the shining star out there. He's a bit of quality on the field. I think everybody works hard, but I think he was a different class.
Once we start getting through the season, and that's probably the best ground that we've played on in terms of the firmness of the ground, and I think with the players that we've got and the way that we want to play, the harder the ground is or the firmer the ground is, the better that we'll get. But obviously we need to score more points than the opposition, and one of the goals that we set ourselves at the start of the season really is a team goal. Well, if you concede less than 16 points, you're in a real good position to win a game, because we back ourselves to score 18 points in a game. So that's a target that we need to hit more often than not. So if we concede less than 16 points in every game we play, we'll win more than we'll lose. So we're pretty happy with what we've got in terms of ball in hand, but it's about putting all them combinations and the parts of the game together.
You're the all-time top try scorer for West Tigers. Supporters are already really excited about the prospect of having you in this team. For those who perhaps haven't watched you as closely, how would you summarise what attributes you'll bring to the team?
Yeah, I suppose it's a specialty of mine to score tries, and I've done it at at the Tigers for a long time, and to be able to come to to Salford. Someone corrected me. It's Salford. That's the one. Salford, and do the same thing for the club. I hope I'll bring a lot of excitement and to the fans, and I'll prove to them and show them what I can do.
We have exciting.
Great to see Nofaluma in Salford there. Paul Rowley talking about Nenny McDonald's impact on the Salford Red Devils. I think that's clear to see. Craig Lingard talking about where they need to improve. Of course, they have to score more points, but he did talk about maybe they made it harder for themselves than they needed to. And going back to the St. Helens game, to go to the John Smith Stadium and keep Huddersfield to nil, Paul Wellens must have been absolutely delighted with that. That, of course, was all the round 2 Super League games that we've reviewed there. Some really good comments from around the ground. Just one game left. Of course, the World Club Challenge itself. The Wigan Warriors taking on the Penrith Panthers. This game had it all. Big conversation on the final whistle last night with regards to this one and the decisions that were made. There'll be more conversations tomorrow night on Super League Raw Weekly at 8 o'clock live on Twitter, Facebook and YouTube. But let's go to the DW Stadium and relive what for the Wigan Warriors and for Super League was a great night for the sport.
First experience at a World Club Challenge. Honestly, this is probably, it's up there with the grand final last year. Words can't explain. I'm so happy for Wigan and for myself and for all the boys. I'm never going to forget this night.
Yeah, he's definitely very important, but also the backroom staff and every player that's involved, not just the 17 on the pitch, the preparation in the week to work hard, get our fitness levels up, and the detailing, how we want to play and how they play. So, yeah, it's a whole club effort, and we couldn't do it without everyone in the club.
Now, the Wigan Warriors are World Club Challenge champions. The Warriors celebrate. They've seen off the NRL's finest.
Hey guys, world chance maybe. Good game, tough game against Penrith. Just happy we come away with it, and we'll enjoy the night.
I think Penrith Panthers' commitment for this competition the last 2 years has been outstanding, and we've done our bit as well along with St. Helens, so it should only build. People talk about the respect in NRL, Super League, but we shouldn't take too much notice of that. We know the NRL is an outstanding competition, but the Super League and Rugby League in the north of England and London has a lot to be proud of. So let's not concern ourselves too much with that and just take pride in the athletes we have on shore and the people that we can inspire.
How goes that, Warriors fans? World Cup challenge for the next 12 months. Tough effort. You can't beat Deep W for a fortress.
A brilliant night for the Wigan Warriors, for their supporters and for Super League. Congratulations to everybody in Pyland on their win. Great stuff, great win. The Super League come out on top over the NRL. England come out on top over Australia. What's not to like? Congratulations to the Wigan Warriors. Right, let's start wrapping things up. The official Super League team of round number 2 has been announced today. This is that team. Wellesby at fullback on the wings, Handley and Hall in the centres, Nene McDonald and Toby King, halfbacks Theo Farge and Mark Sneed. The 2 props will be Paul Vaughan and Chris Satai with Jez Litton as the hooker. Second row, Sam Stone, Curtis Sivinen. And then at 13, Elliot Minchella. How many of those players will be in the official Super League Raw Team of the Week announced tomorrow night on Super League Raw Weekly? You will have to wait and see. That has been one hell of a Super League Raw news update, hasn't it? Now, before I go, I was challenged on Facebook over the membership. As you know, all these programs are free to air. We put them out there. But there was a question, why the membership? Well, quite frankly, folks, it takes 35 to 40 hours a week to produce all the Super League Raw shows that you are watching currently. We've got over 10,000 followers across all social media platforms. And thank you one and all for getting involved, getting your comments in the chat, and for the members that have already joined. Really do appreciate it. But like I say, 35 to 40 hours to bring you Rugby League 7 days a week. That's what Super League Raw is all about. We hope you're enjoying the content. There are 3 levels of membership. Any support you can give us would be absolutely superb. But like I say, it is free. It's free to all, but please, please, please try and support us. Take into account 35 to 40 hours a week. That's what's going in to all of these shows to give you Rugby League 24/7. And of course, what the news update is all about is going out, trailing across all social media and bringing the news to you. Nobody else does this. Nobody gives you 32 minutes of news twice a week, getting you all the interviews, bringing it all together into one show that you have to watch over a cup of tea when you get in from work. That's what Super League Raw delivers for you. So we really do hope that you're enjoying the new shows. There's new shows on the way. There's new competitions on the way. Keep it Super League Raw. Tell all your friends about us, please, and keep watching and keep supporting us. No matter how you support us, we just love your support. So that's the news update on the 26th of February. We will be back for another news update on Thursday. Tomorrow night, as always, Super League Raw Weekly, available now to download as a podcast, is the final whistle from last night. That's there. The game of the week will be back on Thursday, of course. Keep it Super League Raw, but enjoy whatever you're going to do for the rest of your Monday evening, and we'll see you in a couple of days' time. Bye for now.